Friends, we started with the understanding of the definition of vritti nirodha. By that cessation of the modifications of chitta, we will be coming to a state of oneness with the self. And that was tadadrashtu swarupe avasthan. So once the chitta vritti nirodha takes place, then the seer gets established in the self. If not, vritti sarupya mitratra. He is established in the vrittis as we all are. And then vrittayah, panchatayah, klishta, aklishtaha. These are the 5 which are painful and non-painful. We had a very good discussion on the painful ones and how the non-painful ones are beneficial and how they lead us towards samadhi. To overcome and seize these chitta vrittis, Patanjali makes us understand the concept of abhyas and vairagya. Abhyas, incessant practice, continuous practice. Vairagya, total dispassion. What is Vyatireka Vairagya? What is Ekendriya Vairagya? What is Vashikara Vairagya? And how we are leading ourselves into Para Vairagya, which is spoken about of the Guna Vaitrishnam, overcoming the Trishna of the Gunas itself. This Abhyas and Vairagya leads an aspirant, an individual, a practitioner. Like, because of this kind of continuous practice and detachment, the yogi or the aspirant can focus on any object. In all its perspectives, the object is known. The word sampradnyat literally means the true knowledge of an object in all its perspectives. So, in that sutra number 17, Vitarka Vichara Ananda Asmita Anugamata Sampradnyataha. It is like, stage by stage you are going through meditation and leading yourself into a profound state. Vitarka, gross aspects of that object, or you can say by understanding the gross identification of the object, we are focusing on it, which are going into subtler thoughts. This experience of subtler thoughts, as it is known through mental analysis, which are, as it comes to an end, a state of bliss is attained. And that state of bliss is nothing but the state of Ananda itself. Thus, a knowledge arises, leads to that bliss, and one who is meditating or focusing, he says, what I see is nothing but my own reflection, or he experiences that. A deep sense of oneness with the object. And this results into indescribable bliss. This stage of bliss is free from the grosser part, the subtle part, or you can say the gross thoughts or the subtle thoughts. And from here onwards, the part of meditation becomes effortless. The feeling of the bliss developing all over the being leads him to understand the state of asmita. It is like, from gross to subtle, and from, as I always say, from objectivity to subjectivity. The one who knows the object as himself, becoming one with it, the I consciousness, asmita. When the state of bliss is transcended, only the awareness of the principle that knows, that is I consciousness or pure intellect, remains. And this I consciousness we should understand as pure sattva, nothing else. Here in Samprajnat Samadhi, Samadhi with Prajna, the yogi is still in the realm of the Prakriti, you can say. He is still into the impact of Prakriti. When the whole chitta is crystal clear, very pure, full of sattva, it acts like a mirror in which the Purusha Tattva is reflected as it is. As this experience is done, this is still Sabija Samadhi. This leads to a state of Asamprajnat Samadhi. But one should come to that level. All the stages where we were experiencing Vitarka, Vichara, Ananda, Asmita, they are stages of experience, Sabija Samadhi stages, cognitive states. Whereas Asamprajnata is taking us beyond the knowledge of this experiential states, where the inward journey or the journey towards inward consciousness comes to an end. Here, Patanjali Muni is putting in front of us the 18th sutra, which says Virama Pratyaya Abhyasa Purvaha Sanskar Sesho Anyaha. He is not saying Asamprajnat, but he says Anya. Because many a times it may happen, people will say Samprajnat Samadhi is Samadhi with Prajna, Asamprajnat Samadhi, Samadhi without Prajna. So Samadhi cannot be without any experience, but it can be an experience which is indescribable, and that indescribable experience is Asamprajnat. So here Patanjali wants to make us understand that what is this indescribable experience, and he says only in simple word, that is Anyaha, the other. The other means the Asamprajnata, but he does not names it. As with the constant practice of Abhyas and Vairagya leading to the cessation of modification, one goes into this experience of Anya. In this Anya, only the latent impressions remain. Because as long as there is Asmita, the I consciousness, experience of Pratyaya is there. And beyond that I consciousness, where there is no experiencer, we lose ourselves and become one with the ultimate pure I sense. So when there is no experiencer, there is no experience. When there is no experience, प्रत्यय को विराम मिल गया. The experience is what you can say in a state of rest. When that is happening, the mind is free from all the objects. 1 second. Hey, hello. Hey, hello. Hey, इसको अंदर ले जाओ. यहाँ आके बैठी हुई है.
उसको लैला को.
हाँ, लैला को. आपने बराबर पहचान लिया सर. See, here she is. Now she has become big enough. बड़ी हो गई है अभी. Sorry for that interruption. लेकिन बाहर ऐसी धूप है. And she is resting in the terrace under the Nimbuka tree, the lime tree. The moment she feels that she is feeling the heat, she comes in. So someone has to take her inside. Otherwise, the whole floor is wet. The cleansing is going on. So she stopped herself there. So I had to tell my wife to take her in. We were in understanding the non-experiencing of the pratyaya, which is a virama. And this virama pratyaya is nothing but the experience of the other, where the mind is free from all the objects. Hence, you can say all the fluctuations, all the chitta vrittis are coming to an end. But in this state of virama pratyaya, the latencies remain, the latent impressions, as Patanjali says, samskara shesha. So, samskaras of the previous experiences do remain. Since the yogi has gone beyond the experience, this indescribable asaprajna samadhi, as called as other or anya by Patanjali, is not the state of liberation, friends. कई बार लोग कहते हैं कि now this is nirbija samadhi, it is a state of liberation. But no, it is not yet the state of liberation. Because we need to understand that these sanskaras are of two types. Each mental modification, chitta vrittis, they create an impression, that is a sanskara. And the nirodha state also creates a state of impression. And that state of impression is total silence, silence in the chitta. So when that continuous practice and supreme detachment is slowly, continuously eliminating the impressions of the previous cognitive states, the state of silence comes in. Or you can say the state of silence, Nirodha Sanskar slowly, slowly starts dominating. Then the objectless Nirbija Samadhi is supposed to be attainable. In the fourth chapter, the concept of Dharma Megha has been explained, where the latencies completely disappear altogether only in Dharma Megha Samadhi. That we will be learning and understanding it step by step. Here, in the Dharma Megha Samadhi, the chitta is completely dissolved. The I sense completely disappears. The sense of me, mine, and world is replaced. And it is replaced by the drashta, the purusha, who is not affected, who is not affected by these forces of prakriti, you can say. And when this I sense completely disappears, what remains is kaivalya. So the inward journey of consciousness comes to an end where the seer abides in himself. Tadadrashtu swarupe avasthanam, as explained in the Sutra number 3. Patanjali goes on to make us understand, because of this samprajnat and asamprajnat, what is that we are going through. And in the Sutra number 19, he says, Bhava pratyayo videha prakriti layana. Videha, in case of those who have attained bodiless state. Prakriti laya, those who have merged into the prakriti. Bhava pratyaya, experience of the world, born in again. This state awaits. Bhava pratyayo videha prakriti layana. In case of those who have attained bodiless state, in case of those who have merged with the prakriti, as well, the experience of the world still awaits. In the previous sutra of understanding the Anyaha, if it is a state attained without elimination of the, what you can say, the impressions, a yogi is not liberated, but he may still attain. जैसे कि अभ्यास में है, वैराग्य में है, मेडिटेशन में है, समाधि की स्थिति में है, संप्रज्ञात असंप्रज्ञात के स्टेट में जहां पर इंप्रेशंस अभी भी हैं, and he gives away his body, because body is the medium through which you are doing the practice. He may not be liberated, but still he may attain a state of bodilessness, and that is videha. Or he may, or she may merge into the constituents of prakriti, prithvi, aap, tej, vayu, akash, and they are both are, whether it is videha or prakrutilaya, they are high states of consciousness. But since avidya still remains, the yogi is not able to go beyond the stage of birth and death, you can say. So though the experience of the world is awaiting, the yogi graduates into the state of videha or prakriti laya, and he is experiencing this state to henceforth go ahead and come back to the practice state and move into Kaivalya. Vyas Bhashya says something else. According to Vyas Bhashya, the lesser gods or the demigods falls in the category of Videhas. They have attained freedom from the bondages of the body, no doubt about that. They remain in the state of heavenly bliss. They may command a number of supernatural powers, Ashta Aishwaryam, Anima, Mahima, Lagima, ये जो हम पढ़ रहे थे हठ प्रदीपिका में, but still they are not liberated, na? Latencies, the sanskaras force them to undergo the experience of the world as a videha or as a prakriti laya. Having understood this, it is said in Vyasa Bhashya that prakriti layas merge into prakriti, yakshas, gandharvas, fall into the category of videhas. So all this said and done, In Vyasa Bhashya, the two kinds of Nirbija Samadhi, through Bhava Pratyaya and through Upaya Pratyaya, is there. Upaya Pratyaya is attained by the experiencing, as explained by Patanjali in the next sutra, where he says, Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, Purvak, Itaresham. So from Bhava Pratyaya Videha Prakriti Layana, one is coming to the state where the others adopt, the Anyaha adopt the path of faith, Shraddha, Virya, vigor, Smriti, a state of great awareness, Samadhi, ultimate concentration, meditation, Prajna, supreme knowledge of all these things. The path prescribed for others, that is, those who are not the Videhas or the Prakriti Laya, begins with the faith, begins in Shraddha. And when it begins through Shraddha, through that Virya, through that Smriti, Smriti is Dhyana or supreme meditation leading you into Samadhi, and ends into ultimate knowledge, that is Prajna, supreme knowledge. Here we have to understand Shraddha as different from a general faith. Usually we have a general faith like blind faith. A yogi who is on the path of yoga, practicing regularly, starts experiencing the state of tranquility of mind. And as he is experiencing that peaceful state, as you people always say na, कि आज practice करके ऐसे लगा, अच्छा लगा, I am feeling very calm and quiet and peaceful. आप अपने अपने शब्दों में उसका वर्णन करते हैं. तो ये क्या है? It is a suggestion that you are on the right path. This is Shraddha, the faith that develops of one's own experience. Such a faith, friends, is very firm. It cannot be, distracted by any other forces. It is unshakable because you have led yourself into that state. So Shraddha leading to Virya, the energy and the vigor required for the intense spiritual practice, the enthusiastic people beginning, and the practices. If the practices are becoming mechanical, मुझे ना कभी-कभी इसलिए I am really glad we are having a practitioner with us like Asha madam, who is very clear with her experience when she says, ये mechanical मुझे पसंद नहीं है. I lose enthusiasm there, and I respect her views. One should understand Shraddha is the only source of that energy. So here she is very clear with her aspect. और आशुतोष सर भी थोड़ा सा उनके इन्फ्लुएंस में आते हुए कहने लग गए कि अभी तुम लोग ये सूर्य नमस्कार निकालो. I was very happy at that time also. Somewhere the mechanical things were getting a break, and really the spiritual things which should be given more importance were getting upliftment. Anyways, this Shraddha and Virya leads to that continuous remembrance of the goal, that is Smriti, and that Smriti in the total Dhyanatmak Sthiti. we say na, in that we have understood the bhakti yoga in our Bhagavad Gita lessons, where the remembrance of the God is the main practice. Remembrance of that Brahman is the main. So the faith and the vigor generate that intense awareness, that is smriti, which molds one's lifestyle for the desired result, and that is samadhi. So intense awareness eliminates all distractions, and the chitta becomes focused on the object of meditation. So if the object of meditation is like the remembrance of the God, all his activities, the chitta itself will turn onto God. The worldly attachment will be automatically fall off. And that is where Patanjali Muni has given us the understanding of the repetition of pranava as a means to develop the awareness of the self, where we will say, where we are going to understand pratyaka chetana adhigamah api antaraya abhavasya. That is going to come later when we understand the concept of Ishvara. So here, with this constant awareness of smriti, of distinction between Purusha and Prakriti, leading us to that discriminative knowledge, which in turn leads to Samadhi, in which that uninterrupted self-awareness remains as it is. Now, this is the peak. This is the peak of Samprajñat Samadhi, resulting in this supreme knowledge, Prajna. So this supreme truth, as one should understand, disinterestedness or non-interest in the supreme knowledge and the power associated with it will take us to nowhere. But at the same time, the interest in that knowledge will keep us connected to the state of experience of Samadhi itself. So we need to go beyond that. So disinterestedness of this knowledge of knowing the supreme truth also needs to be given let go. And that is where we are indicating ourselves that we are leading ourselves into Nirbija Samadhi, leading ourselves into Kaivalya. मतलब कैसा है कि सत्व में रहने के बाद में हमको सब कुछ तो क्लियर दिखाई दे रहा है और हमको ऐसे लगता है बस यही तो है अल्टीमेट चीज. बट दिस इज ऑल्सो अ नॉलेज, एंड the disinterestedness to go beyond this knowledge, if it is there, then you will get stuck over there. In fact, we should be able to have this samadhi prajna, where this also should be let go, this also should be left, and we should surrender, and that surrender will lead us into the experience of kaivalya. In the next sutra, Patanjali says that time required for achieving the state of samadhi depends upon the intensity of the practice. If you see the sutra number 21, he says, Tivra samveganamasanna. Intense aspiration, Tivra samvega. It is very near. Asanna. Those who are practicing daily, regularly, and that too intensely, will achieve samadhi quickly. He is very clear with that. नहीं तो हमारा प्रैक्टिस कैसा है, सुबह 1.5 घंटा और बाकी के दिन में पूरा प्रकृति के साथ में मजा लूटो. But then it is not intense, na friends. Here Patanjali is very clear. If the practice is intense, certainly samadhi will be attained quickly. Tivra samveganam asana. So with a yogi with high inspiration, high aspiration, devotes every moment for yoga practice, every moment, single moment. That's why yoga is not a practice of an hour or so coming to the mat and doing this. No, not at all. It is the practice of every moment throughout the life. The entire life energy of such a yogi is oriented towards the goal. And hence they, of course, acquire that great speed and reach the target before time, I would say. Here I come to the understanding of the first meeting between Narendra, Swami Vivekananda, whose name was Narendra, his meeting with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ji had promised the so very young Narendra that he will show him God. And the days passed by. In one instance, when they were taking bath in the river Ganga, Narendra suddenly asked, when are you going to show me the God? And what did Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ji could have done? Without saying a word, he held Narendra's head and pushed him under the water. And after a few minutes, he released him and asked, hey, Narendra, where were your thoughts under the water? Oh, Narendra said, sir, only one thought. I thought I will die if I do not breathe. And Ramakrishna ji said, exactly. When someone feels that he would die unless he sees the God, he will realize it. See the method of the great gurus, how they used to make their disciples understand. So there should be an intensity, अंदर से वो आतुरता होनी चाहिए कि मुझे देखना है. तो इसीलिए हम कभी कहते हैं ना कि देखने से तो खुदा भी दिख जाता है. देखने वाले के अंदर वो देखने की कुव्वत होनी चाहिए. हमें तो पुरुष के तत्व को भी जानना है और साथ ही साथ प्रकृति को छोड़ना भी नहीं है. तो कहां से पॉसिबिलिटी आएगी? नॉट अ पॉसिबिलिटी. और बाद में वो आगे डिफाइन करते हैं इन द सूत्र नंबर 22. ही गोज ऑन टू सेज मृदु मध्य अधिमात्रात्वात् ततोपि विशेषः. So that time of achievement, that ultimate goal, is graded depending upon the methods which are being employed by the student, by the sadhaka, by the aspirant. Mrudu, slow, madhya, moderate. Adhimatratvat, fast, super speed. अब जैसे कि हम सफर करते हैं ना, आशा मैडम, मैं और आशुतोष भाई, हम तीनों ने डिसाइड कर लिया कि सुनील भाई को मिलने जाएंगे गुरुग्राम. तो आशुतोष भाई सेड कि आई एम गोइंग बाय ट्रेन. Asha madam said, I am slow by that way, so I will take simple bus or my own car and slowly reach by own time. And Sabir bhai said, hey, मुझे बहुत जल्दी है मिलने की. I will go by plane. The goal is reaching Sunil bhai, and every person has his own way of traveling. What you decide is your own. understanding how you go ahead. And while explaining this in Vyasa Bhashya, Vyasa Muni says that there are 9 kinds of yogis, depending upon whether their methods of practice are slow, moderate, or fast, and the desire to achieve the goal, how it is, whether it is gentle, whether it is medium or intense. However, one must understand that time is just a relative factor, and it is existing only because of avidya. A yogi who has attained the state of kaivalya will certainly go beyond time. And how long he takes to reach there actually does not matter. It does not matter. I remember one story of Narada Muni. He was moving in forest, नारायण नारायण करते करते अपनी वीणा बजाते हुए, and he found a yogi meditating under a banyan tree. He said, I am going to Vaikuntha, the abode of Lord Vishnu. Do you want to convey any message to the Lord? He asked the meditating yogi. So the mendicant said, just ask the Lord how long it will take me to see him. He said, okay, fine. After some time, Narada came across another mendicant, another yogi. He too wanted to know that when he will be able to see God. After a few years, Narada, returning to the forest, tells the first yogi that he has to wait for 3 more births before he realized God. The yogi, he was very frustrated and angry. Kya 3 janam aur? I left everything, practiced every day and night for so long, and still the Lord wants me to wait for 3 lives? There is no justice. यहाँ कोई न्याय नहीं है. जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, अंधेर है, देर नहीं है, ऐसे हम लोग बोलते हैं. And ऐसा सोचते ही he left the path. When Narada goes to the other mendicant, who was also very eager to know what Lord thinks about him, so Narada tells him, as many leaves are there on this banyan tree, so many cycles of birth and death you are going to face before you see the Lord. जितने पत्ते हैं ना इस झाड़ में, इतने जन्म लगेंगे तुमको. अभी पहले का हाल तो 3 जन्म बोला तो उसका ऐसा स्टेट था. But this yogi jumped in ecstasy. He was very ecstatic. He was very excited. Oh, I am going to see the Lord for sure. Time doesn't matter, he says. Kitna bhi waqt lage, chalega, but I am going to see him that you have told me. So that has made me happy. And he starts dancing. Expectation of the early success can always be a hurdle on the path of yoga, friends. Guruji used to always say, क्यों जल्द, क्योंकि साबिर ना was to, सर अभी तक वो फर्क नहीं पड़ा, अभी तक वो फर्क नहीं पड़ा, सर हमने 3 महीने का ये कोर्स कर लिया लेकिन लोगों में कुछ असर दिखाई नहीं दिया, ये वेट लॉस नहीं हुआ, ये इनका डायबिटीज कंट्रोल में नहीं आया. तो ऐसे जा जाके मैं सर को बताया करता था, रिपोर्ट देना पड़ता था वैसे भी उनको. जब मैं खोलता था कि सर एक ही कहते थे, see the result will come at its own time. You cannot expect. The expectation of the results earlier than its time is itself a hurdle on the path of yoga. What we have to do here, friends? Just surrender to God. And that's what Patanjali says. In the next aphorism, he says, Ishwar pranidhanatva. See the beautiful way. So the sequence of Yoga Sutra as it is coming in front of us, पहले हमको define करना कि what is yoga, और फिर बताना कि how the vrittis are supposed to be seized, then we will be coming across yoga. तो अभ्यास वैराग्य बताते हुए अभ्यास और वैराग्य का रिजल्ट बता दिया, संप्रज्ञात असंप्रज्ञात। संप्रज्ञात असंप्रज्ञात को एक्सपीरियंस करने से अगर कभी हमको मुक्ति नहीं मिलती है, देयर आर संस्कारास, तो वी आर एक्सपीरियंसिंग भव प्रत्ययो विदेह प्रकृति लया नाम। And in that state with that latencies, what we should do? Have that faith, shraddha, virya, smriti, samadhi, prajna, itaresham. With this, there has to be an intense desire, tivra samvedanamasanna. And that is different from person to person. It's okay. Someone may be gentle, someone may be medium, and someone may be intense. It's okay. सबका अपना practice है. But at the same time, as I told you, जब वक्त आता है तभी वो चीज होनी है। अभी आजकल कोरोना से लोग कितने मर रहे हैं, तो सबको बहाना मिल गया, ये कोरोना ने हमारे इसको मार दिया, हमारे उसको मार दिया। अब कोरोना नहीं होता तो भी वो उस समय मरने ही वाला था, ये किसको समझाएं? उसका वक्त उसी समय आने वाला था। कोरोना तो सिर्फ एक बहाना है। और ऐसे कितने लोग हैं जो हॉस्पिटल में गए, एक एक महीना रह गए और उनके दिमाग में ये था कि हम तो चले अब छुट्टी। उन्होंने सारा सब कुछ अपने बीवी बच्चों को बता दिया कि इसमें इतना शेयर लेके रखा हुआ है, इसमें इतना बैंक बैलेंस है, उधर उतनी प्रॉपर्टी है, ये नोट करके रखो, लाओ मैं लास्ट का जो मेरा विल है वो चेंज कर देता हूँ, ये कर देता हूँ, वो कर देता हूँ, सब कुछ कर दिया। और फिर साबिर, वो गब्बर सिंह का डायलॉग है ना शोले का, बच गया, आगे का वर्ड बोलता नहीं हूँ। And he comes out of hospital and then he says, अरे अभी सब will change. तो ईश्वर प्रणिधान करना चाहिए। तो self surrender to God will lead to that samadhi. This is an alternative given to us to the previous thing. अभ्यास और वैराग्य बताया था। Now here he is saying प्रणिधानाद वा। वा का मतलब होता है और, or by self surrender to Ishvara. This is also going to lead us to samadhi. This is the path of what you can say bhakti, love, devotion, self surrender. Ramakrishna Paramahansa ji used to say that a spiritual aspirant should be like either a baby monkey or like a baby cat. और ये दोनों बातें हमारे उपनिषदों में लिखी हुई है, मरकट न्याय और मार्जर न्याय। The baby monkey holds on to its mother with all the strength and will. Monkey jumps, the mother monkey jumps from one branch to the other branch, from one tree to the other tree, और कभी कभी गुलाटियां खाती है। But the baby monkey is clinging so nicely, it doesn't leave. तो कुछ योगियों का रिजॉल्व ऐसे होना चाहिए, कुछ भी हो जाए, दुनिया इधर की उधर हो जाए, but the path should not be. और जो बेबी कैट आप लोगों ने देखा ही होगा, the baby cat leaves everything to mother. It only cries and calls mother, who comes to feed her or to protect her. The mother has to look after all the needs. वो बचपन में हमारी मम्मी को मैंने पूछा, मम्मी हाउ इज दिस कैट, शी इज द मदर, हाउ शी इज होल्डिंग द बेबी किटन। अपने दांतों में उसका दांत घुस जाएगा, उसके पेट में मर जाएगा वो बच्चा, लेकिन वो बच्चा चू से चा नहीं करता है, ऐसा मुंडी डाल के लेटा हुआ रहता है उसके पेट में, अपने मुंह में। तो अब आप सोचो, कंप्लीट सरेंडर, तू जो करना है कर ले, आई एम योर्स, इसको कहते हैं भक्ति। सो द ग्रेटेस्ट सरेंडर of an individual like you and me is the surrender of your ego. For a devotee who has the ideas of me, mine, मेरा घर, मेरा बीवी, मेरे बच्चे, मेरा पैसा, मेरी गाड़ी, these are all supposed to be replaced. They are supposed to be replaced only वो लैटिन वर्ड्स है ना, दो एंड दाइन, you and yours. So when ego is completely eliminated, the devotee, the bhakta, effortlessly attains the asamprajnat samadhi, which is beyond asmita. The ego has been totally surrendered. तो यहां पर पतंजलि मुनि ने हमारे सामने ईश्वर प्रणिधान का मार्ग रख दिया as a special practice that makes the yogi or the devotee or the bhakta eligible for the grace of the God. So what he has to do is to offer everything he has, all his actions. जैसे हमने भगवत गीता में पढ़ा, माम शरणम, Lord Krishna says, na, you surrender everything at my feet, whatever you have, sukha, dukha, अच्छा, बुरा, जो कुछ भी है, just surrender it. I read it in one of the Upanishad, not recollecting the shloka, but there it is said, as a river spontaneously moves and merges the ocean, and the ocean embraces the river, isn't it? In the very similar manner, God embraces the bhakta. But you should be ready to continuously flow and have that intention of merging one day. So this is the concept of Ishvara, which is challenging to the Sankhya, which is Nirishwara. Patanjali has opened a different path, you can say, of yoga for the people whose heart is full of love for God. And there he goes on to explain to us who is God, what is the definition of God, who is Ishvara. क्लेश कर्म विपाक आशयै अपरामृष्टाः पुरुष विशेष ईश्वरः. Ishwar is that special Purush, Vishesha Purusha, unaffected by klesha, the afflictions, karma, the actions, vipaka, the fruits of the actions, that we call as karma vipaka, ashaya, you can say the karmashaya, the latent impressions of the actions. He is free from all these things. That is the major difference between the Sankhya and the yoga philosophy, and that is the concept of Ishwar. That's why Yoga Darshan is called as Sheshwar Sankhya. The Sankhyas do not find it necessary to accept the theory of God as the creator. Creation, according to Sankhya, is the result of the evolution of Prakriti when it comes in contact with Purusha. According to the Sankhyas, perfect knowledge of the 24 evolutes of Prakriti, that is 24 Tattva, leads one to the Purusha. The pure consciousness, Purusha, and Sankhya by itself means knowledge, isn't it? And that Purusha is the only, you can say, passive witness of this interaction of the gunas in us, sattva, raja, tama, when we are existing in the prakriti, which is giving us variety of experiences. So the discriminative knowledge between the experience of the prakriti and that of the purusha leads us. Vivek Khati, hum aage padhne wale hain. And they say God's grace is not necessary here. Kapila Muni, writing that Sankhya Sutras, he doesn't mention anything about God. But here, by introducing the concept of Ishvara, Patanjali seems to be having synthesized the two, the Sankhya as well as the Vedanta philosophy. As explained earlier, the understanding of this addition, devotion becomes powerful, very impactful because of the yogic practices. In fact, devotion itself is a yogic practice. तो हम जप साधना करते ही हैं, मंत्र जप करते ही हैं, और कई बार तो ऐसे ही समझ लेना चाहिए कि जब हम ओमकार ध्वनि का दिल लगाकर उच्चारण करते हैं तो सगर्भ प्राणायाम का अभ्यास हो ही रहा है. सगर्भ प्राणायाम मीन्स विथ मंत्र. But one thing I would like to tell you, Patanjali's Ishvara is not the God that we usually understand. Patanjali's Ishvara is not the Saguna, Sakara Rupa. But Patanjali's God is Nirguna Nirakar, beyond the attributes. When we were trying to understand the Sankhya, the two primordial principles, Purusha and Prakriti. According to Sankhya, Purushas are many. Puri Shet iti Purushaha. Puri Shete iti Purushaha. So it is consciousness entrapped. You can say the supreme energy, the consciousness, is entrapped or seems to be getting, जैसे काबू में आ गया. You can say in the conglomeration of the forces of Prakriti. So here the pure consciousness seems to be contaminated. Contaminated with the klesha, the forces of Prakriti. The pure consciousness is now getting governed by the law of karma. Good or bad, actions will certainly lead to the experience of pleasure and pain. This law of karma is explained very nicely in the second chapter from Sutra number 12 to 15. So, the impressions created by these actions, which is nothing but the karmashaya, determines our course of life. हम कैसे जीने वाले हैं, क्या भोगने वाले हैं. So here, Purusha is imagined to be experiencing this, because these afflictions are subsisting in our chitta. Actually, afflictions, actions, and impressions, they all are existing in the chitta only. Vyasa Bhashya simply explains it in a very beautiful manner. It says that just as a victory or defeat gained, just as a victory or defeat gained or suffered by the soldiers in the battlefield is attributed to the king. The victory gained attributed to the king. ये राजा जीत गया. Defeated, ये राजा हार गया. So just as the victory or defeat gained or suffered by the soldiers is attributed to the king, so very much here we have to understand, friends, as I'm giving you this upama or the kind of analogy to connect you, the mental fluctuations are attributed to the Purusha only. All the chitta vrittis is like Purusha is experiencing. Another example, when one is watching a movie, he knows that he has nothing to do with whatever is happening on the screen. We are just a spectator, isn't it? Yet for some time being, you can say, the movie watcher is affected. अगर सामने वाला डिशुम डिशुम कर रहा है तो ये अपने सीट पर बैठ करके ऐसा ऐसा करता रहता है. सामने वाले ने जोक शेयर किया तो खिलखिला के हंस उठता है. सामने वाले पे कुछ अगर स्क्रीन पे कोई दुखद घटना हो रही तो इसके आंख में से भी पानी आने लगते हैं. ऐसा होता है कि नहीं होता है? हम सबने एक्सपीरियंस किया है. In somewhat very similar manner, friends, Purusha appears to be affected by the variety of the experiences presented before him by the Chitta. Chitta is like a screen which is presenting, and Purusha, being a passive observer, is still getting affected. Yes, sir. You are mute.
Yeah.
Yes.
2-3 questions. One is about the first sutra that we started with, and the other two are about Ishvara. So which one should I ask first?
You start the first one.
Okay. Abhyasa Purvam. What is the meaning of Abhyasa Purvam? Abhyasa Purvaha Samskara Shesho Anyaha. So Abhyasa Purva means before practice. Is it?
Virama Pratyaya Abhyasa Purvaha.
Yeah.
So Virama Pratyaya is giving rest to that latencies which are existing. So Abhyasa Purva, going ahead. Sanskaras.
Yeah.
Which are remaining in the state
of
the mind or the chitta need to be given complete rest. So we are not able to give that rest. Now we are experiencing the pratyayas. If not the pratyayas, their latencies, their impressions, their sanskara. So यहाँ पर in this case, the previous sutra, vitarka, vichara, ananda, asmita. Vitarka, the gross object, vichara, the subtle ones, ananda, which is experienced out of coming out of these two experiences of vitarka and vichara, and at last the asmita also. So when a person is going through this, of course he is going beyond this, but going beyond doesn't mean that you have completely let it gone. The impressions are there. We need to let these impressions also to let go, but that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. And in that also we are experiencing that asampradnyata samadhi. Though we have gone with the sampradnyata, beyond sampradnyata, that we are experiencing through the gross object and the same gross subtle understanding thoughts and the same experience of the ananda and leading to the pure consciousness of the self. But yet these things are there at the back of our mind, we can say, and they are still catching up upon us. So he says, you might have gone beyond it. You might are coming near to asampragnata, but yet you are not into that nirbija. Many people say you are into nirbija. Asampragnata means nirbija. Many people call it. Even in the previous session also, I just to make you understand the thing. Sampragnat samadhi, sabija samadhi. Asampragnat, nirbija, where there is nothing to understand with the actions or experiences of the practice itself. So, abhyas of what? Of samadhi. Abhyas of what? Going through vitarka, going through vichara, going through the state of bliss, going through the state of pure eye consciousness. So these are all the experiencing that one is going through. So when there is an experience, it is known as sampragnatah, anugamat sampragnatah. So next it says virama pratyaya, giving rest to those experiences. Abhyasa purvah. So when you are going through the next and ahead practice, just make sure that you are letting those things become completely subdued. All the sanskaras which are there remaining, sanskara shesha, are given virama. They are given rest. And this is going to happen only with continuous practice. So here we have to understand the sutra number 19, which says bhava pratyaya videha prakriti layana, may be the outcome of sampragnat samadhi. And then he says, if you are into asampragnat, where the sanskaras are there in a very latent form, then shraddha, virya, smriti, samadhi, prajna purvak, itaresham, the others, the anyah, will go ahead with shraddha, will go ahead with that smriti, samadhi, prajna. So one should be totally under that faith, that shraddha. These latencies are also going to be at rest. They are also going to be becoming negligible. A complete state of purity or clarity or the crystal clear state is still going to be achieved much more better. And then it is said that you are in Kaivalya. So the two sutras, 19 and 20, you can connect it with 17 and 18. So where we are getting into that state, nahi to bhava pratyayo videha prakriti layana. Either you are born as a videha or as a prakriti laya. So videha and prakriti laya is still the experience of the prakriti only. So here he says that after experiencing those merits, वो पुण्य कर्म का experience करने के बाद में, you will be again getting another janma where you will be getting a human form to go through the practice. And there in that practice, you should understand that now this is another chance for you to do the practice with devotion and go ahead. And such kind of experience is going to come with what kind of intensity you have to experience that. And there he says, Tivra Samveganam Asana. Then he goes on to tell, Mrudu Madhya Adi Matra. It is different from an individual to individual, individual chitta to the other individual chitta. So someone may be slow, someone may be medium, someone may be faster. Accordingly, one reaches there. I hope this is connecting you to that aspect. Sir, you are still mute. Yes.
Yeah. Second question is about Ishvara. And that is it, I mean, simply translated, it is a spirit. But the Vedantin commentary is Supreme Spirit. So
there is always,
if we go by the, if we go by the sutra, it simply says a spirit. And one form of spirit, Purusha Vishesha. It doesn't say Supreme Spirit.
Yeah, it doesn't say Supreme Spirit.
So this interpretation, that it refers to Nirgun Nirakar Paramatma or something of that kind. This is
challenging.
This is one possible interpretation. But the Nirishwar Sankhya would say that this is simply a state of the spirit.
Spirit.
There is no supreme spirit. This is a state of the spirit.
So here, sir,
where
we should
you don't
understand.
explain klesha karma vipaka ashaya
Uh,
aparaprishtaha. So this is the state of the spirit. It is not supreme spirit. And if we accept this, that it is not the supreme spirit, then Ishwar Pranidhan will also have a different meaning. It is not devotion, but it is depositing oneself in that state, trying to deposit oneself. Pranidhan would mean depositing or investing, but not devotion. I mean, that is not the Sanskrit word pranidhan. It won't mean devotion. So that devotion would be the interpretation given by Seshwara Sankhya.
Achha. Seshwara Sankhya is yoga only.
No, but it is possible to have Nirishwar Sankhya interpretation also. I thought, that's what I'm asking.
No. Let me make it very clear. When you say Purusha as spirit, that's what you're saying, isn't it?
Yes.
So what you would say for Vishesha Purusha?
Purusha Vishesha is a separate state, is a special state of the spirit.
Special state of the spirit. So he goes on to say that special state of spirit is nothing but Ishvara.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't therefore become a supreme spirit. That's what I'm saying.
Agreed. I will take it that way, because this is only the changes in the interpretations. So let me accept that also. But he goes on to say in the next sutras, who is this particular special one?
Right.
He is explaining to us.
Yeah.
If you read and go ahead with the next two sutras, as I am coming to that, you tatra niratishayam sarvajna bijam, he says. He clearly says tatra niratishayam. In him, sarvajna bijam. In him, the seed of sarvajna remains unsurpassed, you can say. So the special Purusha who is Ishvara, or the particular spirit, as you are saying, which is different from the other spirits, is nothing but Sarvajna. So when it is said about Ishvara that he to bol nahi sakte hum, he is beyond he and she. So Ishvara is the highest limit of omniscience, Sarvajna Bijam. It is the very source of omniscience. When we say the very source of omniscience, that means he can know at any and every moment all the happenings at once. Everything is in his knowledge about the whole creation, sir. He knows every moment, everything, whatever is happening in this, because he is Sarvajna. And जैसे हम कहते हैं ना कि उसके इजाजत के बिना एक ताड़ी भी नहीं हिलती, ऐसा हम लोग कहते कि नहीं कहते? अभी साबिर भाई इज अ व्हाट यू कैन से भक्त, तो कभी कभी वो एसेंस आ जाता है एक्सप्लेनेशन के अंदर, भक्त ऑफ ए डिवोटी ऑफ गॉड, you can say. So here, while explaining the sutras also, it might have come into that way, and there you made those differences, but I accept them. Here we have to understand the further explanation, and he does not stop there. This is the 25th, which I am telling you, tatra niratishayam sarvajna bijam, and he goes on to say, purvesham api guruhu kale nanavachhedat.
Sir, the reason why I'm saying Ishwar is the spirit is because the way the word is used in Sanskrit is to treat it as the master or spirit which controlling spirit of things. Like, they say Yogeshwar, Narmadeshwar, Krishneshwar, Rameshwar. So it
So
is
these are the
used
one who are
in,
the controllers.
yeah, of that particular phenomenon. Particular phenomenon. So in that sense, it is Amruteshwar. Then so many Ishwars are there. So that is why that is the way it is used in Sanskrit. That it is the controlling spirit of that particular phenomenon. Vagishwar. Then they say Vagishwar. That means the controlling spirit of speech. That which controls the speech. So that is the way the term is used. And then to denote the Supreme Spirit, they use the term Parameshwar. Parameshwar. So that's why I had this question, whether by Ishwar we
No,
mean
you are right.
spirit or Supreme
You are,
Spirit.
you are very right. Whether you can say particular spirit or supreme spirit, it is upon your understanding how you interpret it. But one thing I should tell you, sir, since I belong to that department, which is the department of Sanskrit in my college, where we have all these yoga courses happening. My teacher, Dr. Agashe, he is a yoga person. And the head of the department, Dr. Kala Acharya, is a Sanskrit person. Kala Acharya describes the Sanskrit verses by pure transliteration in the Sanskrit understanding. But when it comes to the understanding with the spiritual aspect in the mind, one has to go with the flow. One has to go with the understanding that there is a discussion between Purusha, Prakriti, spatial Purusha, and the understanding of an individual as an aspirant practicing to know the spatial Purusha and get established in his own Purusha. To know the spatial Purusha, see, after knowing the spatial Purusha, he is not going to get established in spatial Purusha. He is still going to lead himself into his own Purusha. Because Purushas are many, Prakriti is only one. So here we have to understand only okay, whether it is Brahman or whether it is Atman. Atman and Brahman, they are one. Atman is part and parcel of Brahman. So individual Atman is getting merged into the universal Paramatman. So here also one can bring a conclusion. Now I am connecting you to the Vedanta lines. The time is also gone, but still I am connecting you. Okay, here also we can say individual Purusha has the chances. I'm not saying he is, because this is nowhere said. I can just say that he has the chances of being into that essence of special Purusha or particular Purusha, which is he is saying Vishesha. We we need to understand here why Patanjali might have brought the God concept. And this is all, sir, I should tell you, that time Buddhism was existing and Vedanta was also taking hold. And this was the time during the Shankaracharya's time where Buddhism was completely wiped out of India. And somewhere this Sheshwara Sankhya gained prominence, and maybe Patanjali might have introduced God concept in the Sankhya philosophy that he is accepting in order to make people understand they follow yoga, whether you do have the God in your mind or whether you have just only Purusha in the mind, it is one and the same thing. He's trying to bring about the parity. So when we go with the शब्दों के जाल में अगर हम गए, so that will be a different track altogether. But when we come to the understanding of the aspect of spirituality connecting ourselves to the ultimate supreme being, then that connection is not only merging but coming closer also. So this is the way I will interpret and try to bring you closer to that. But there are many authors who have come to these things and I have explained it in various ways. Anyways, ये हमारा और आपका discussion चलता रहेगा in the next class also. So we will go ahead and wind up now. Thank you.
Oh.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णम् उदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णम् आदाय पूर्णम् एव अवशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Okay, so before we go on to the sadhana, it's just one administrative matter. So next week, Ayurveda will start in period 1, and while I've sent across a link to the one of the books, the actual book will be, since it's very large file size, I will maybe club it with the some of the soft copies of the anatomy physiology books, and in due course, I think the coming week we'll send a mail which has the copies of both this one as well as the other one. But in the meanwhile, the link is there, so we can study the Ashtanga Hridayam volume 1 through that link. Okay. Now, so Dr. Bhide, actually next Sunday itself at about 10:30 or so, he has to start COVID duty for 10 days at his institution. So he has requested that is it possible for us to start next Sunday's class, and only next Sunday, 15 minutes earlier. Can we start at 8:45? Yeah. Okay. So then what we'll do is we'll do 8:45 to 10 with him, and then he'll quickly move to his institute, and then we can take a 15-minute break. And Sabir bhai, if you wish, we can have 15 more minutes for the Yoga Sutra class, so that we can hopefully get back up to speed with the the outlined this one.
I will be very glad. मुझे
Yeah.
कभी-कभी ऐसा लगता है जैसे मेरा गला दबा के रोक दिया आपने।
देखो, भावना वाइज आई एम ऑल विद यू क्योंकि ये सब्जेक्ट समझे, बिकॉज समझाने में अपन समझते भी है ना, तो इसलिए समझाने का जो मजा है वो एक अनपैरेलल्ड है। तो इसलिए जो वो ये जो समय की सीमा बहुत ही क्रूअल होती है, और मुझे अगर वो उसको लगानी पड़ती है तो आई एम सॉरी फॉर इट, बट क्या करें। तो लेकिन कोशिश करते हैं ये 15 मिनट और मिले तो अपन, इफ वी कैन गेट बैक अप टू स्पीड, फिर क्या होगा कि वो जो पूर्व तैयारी अपन कर रहे हैं उसका फिर वो वो सेटिंग ठीक बैठी रहेगी। तो बस ये जरा बोलना था। सो टुमारो, आई मीन नेक्स्ट संडे, we'll start at 8:40, 42, whatever, so that what 8:45 we can start the Ayurveda session.
One more thing which I wanted to say, the Ashtanga Hridaya that you have shared is the English version, isn't it?
It's an English translation.
There is one PDF copy with me of the Hindi, which I had been referring earlier. So I will share this on our group itself. So it will be more easier for us to understand both the ways.
Yes, yes, that's good. Thank you. Okay, so back to our sadhana sharing. Who would like to start, please? Okay, allow me to start then. Because this this week was a very good week from my perspective for the sadhana. First of all 6 days and effortlessly present, right? There was no discomfort, etc. Am I audible, by the way, or am I? Yeah. Yes. Anji. Okay.
Sabir bhai, you're on mute.
To mute yourself, then the voice will not be that. Yes.
So the interesting thing is that this time, once again, I was able to start the evening practice also, asana. And I started with taking, Sukshma Vyayam and Surya Namaskar. Now, I don't know how I should say, but I found Surya Namaskar more interesting and more enlivening. So gradually, then I moved to doing 2 sets of Surya Namaskar, right? And it is really good. I've, because belongs to the institute, I have not really been in the past practice Surya Namaskar very much. But thanks to our morning session, see, the body is becoming progressively a little more flexible. And as a result, the performance of Surya Namaskar is also bit by bit, becoming improving. And it makes a definite difference both to the जो mood है and sleep. दोनों मतलब बेहतर हुए. So हाँ, बात ये रही कि do it as yoga. Yes, of course, it's I'm still not because in the speed one forgets the awareness part. Yes, I in my experience also this has happened that because movement complete करना है, पैर यहाँ आया वहाँ आया, उसमें awareness का थोड़ा और आसन के कंपैरिजन में अवेयरनेस कम रहती है, ये बात सही है. But that fault I found lay with me, not with the practice per se. And let me see. My plan is that every day of the coming week, also in the evening, I will do at least 2 sets of Surya Namaskar. And in the coming Sunday, I'll share as to, what, how the thing went.
Sunil bhai,
Ji.
I would like to comment something here.
Please, please.
You will enjoy that. There are certain practices, and every individual enjoys some and some they don't. When you say, I am enjoying Surya Namaskar, then the tattva in you of Rajas is getting the fodder of that mechanical practice. Now, just today also we were discussing. So, since it is the experience of what our nature is of, even Sabir bhai loves that. And I not only like to do it, but also I make others also do it. And that's what also you are also doing. But there has been always a instructions from within. How this Surya Namaskar is leading me to experience the asanas more better. How I am settling down in asanas more better. That should be the point of noticing in your diary. I have been telling you earlier also, today also I will tell you, and everyone in fact, if you are doing a simple asana like Bhujanga asana, and today if you have maintained it for 10 seconds, please make sure that in the next time whenever you are doing it as a practice, whether you are reaching to 15-second maintenance or not. Then slowly whether you are going to 20 seconds maintenance or not. Then slowly you are coming to 1 minute maintenance or not. अगर ये आ रहा है तो आपका सूर्य नमस्कार करना फलस्वरूप है. Otherwise, I will tell you, beware of this Surya Namaskar. People have got completely disoriented from the path of yoga because of these practices. I should tell you this. So I am also a very ardent follower of Surya Namaskar, no doubt about it. एक वक्त ऐसा था 36 से 54 सूर्य नमस्कार करना कोई बड़ी बात नहीं थी. और आज भी मैं अगर कभी करने के लिए आपके सामने शुरू हो जाऊं तो 24 से 36 तक तो शायद आराम से कर ही लूंगा आसानी से. And that too within half an hour. But that is not a big feat. The big feat is whether you are experiencing that solace in that maintenance of the asanas. Are you able to completely surrender yourself into that state of practice, and where you are remaining aware? As you said, na, कि I am not remaining aware in Surya Namaskar as I am supposed to be, but still I am getting into that. So this is like, a caution. जैसे वो सिगरेट के पैकेट के ऊपर या गुटखा के पैकेट के ऊपर आता है ना, कॉशन लिखा हुआ रहता है, ये हानिकारक होता है। तो वैसे ही कॉशन जो है सूर्य नमस्कार पर लिखकर आना चाहिए कि दिस में लीड अ इंडिविजुअल अवे फ्रॉम द एक्चुअल प्रैक्टिसेस ऑफ योगा, एंड दैट हैज हैपेंड विद मेनी। एंड व्हाट दे कम एंड टेल मी, यू नो, आई एंजॉय एवरी डे डूइंग प्रैक्टिस योगा। आई आस्क देम व्हाट यू डू। सुबह सुबह उठ के फटाफट जो है 36 सूर्य नमस्कार कर लेते हैं, हो जाता है आधा घंटे में प्रैक्टिस, काम पे लग जाते हैं। तो somewhere we need to do some kind of introspection on that aspect. So
So,
this is
हाँ,
just to guide you. Yes.
so just to share as to the effect that it has. So what happens is, see, usually between 4 and 5 in the evening, I do this, and then after that, so at 6 or 6:10, you know, it is assigned to me that I have to prepare badam milk. Okay, so it takes what my mother and parents are old, so it takes about 45 to 50-minute process, of which the last 30 minutes are basically कि वो सारा हो गया, उसको 30 मिनट केवल उसको रड़ाना होता है दूध को, ताकि वो जो उसमें जो खसखस के बीज हैं वो पक जाएं। अब क्या है, सो दैट हैज बीन मेरा जो टेस्ट है कंफर्ट का, बॉडीली कंफर्ट, स्थिरम सुखम आसनम हम कहेंगे, तो मैं ऊपर वो लेज के ऊपर बैठ जाता हूँ, राइट, चढ़ के बैठ जाता हूँ, गैस साथ में और अपना हिलाता रहता हूँ। अब my test of my own comfort is कि भाई during that 30 minutes to what degree do I feel restless? 30 मिनट कम नहीं होते, आफ्टर ऑल हिलाना ही तो होता है, बाकी तो बैठना ही होता है। तो उसमें कई, एंड आई बीन डूइंग दिस फॉर ऑलमोस्ट एन ईयर नाउ, तो मैं काफी मतलब हर तरह के अनुभव देखा। तो ये मैंने देखा कि लास्ट वीक में my comfort during those 30 minutes of being able to just maintain myself and not have the urge कि भाई उठूं, ये करूं, अरे जल्दी खत्म हो, टाइम देखा, ये बहुत कम रहा। So that's so far that's my experience. But
Then it is good.
नहीं, पर आपने कहा है और क्वेश्चन किया है, तो मैं ये इसको और जरा यू नो अवेयरनेस से वॉच करूंगा कि बाकी जीवन में क्या चेंज होता है, एंड आई विल कीप रिपोर्टिंग। Sorry, I took too much time today. Others?
पहले आप पे कहीं गाड़ी ना छूट जाए।
सूर्य नमस्कार ने बहुत डरा दिया शिशिर भाई आपने। प्रेम तो होनी चाहिए सबसे, चाहे वो सूर्य नमस्कार हो, चाहे वो चक्र भेदन हो। अपने को कट ऑफ कर रखा था कई दिनों से, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं, कुछ ऑब्जर्वेशन नहीं। रिलैक्सेशन टेक्निक्स पे कंसंट्रेशन रहा हमारा थ्रू आउट। I have been an issue during these days. Lying down relaxation technique, posture asanas, including and comfortable breathing practices that kept myself pacified. Eating has some to such extent that it has become involuntary. If voluntary has become involuntary. I want to do Kapalbhati. Much effort is not required now. Goes on. So some practices, of course, I'm doing of my own. I will be joining tomorrow onwards. Still with the request that I will continue my own practices. You all may observe, correct me wherever. Because even now, some practices have been prohibited. Like ligaments has almost come to normal, I would not say normal. Sitting posture, to some extent, I have gained, but still I can't force it. Not up to that state. So like sitting in Vajrasana, I'm I just prefer and do it. But of course, the other relaxation techniques that I'm doing, I feel much comfort in doing it. Just the last I will do it. Let's see you tomorrow.
Next.
This time, this particular week, all my attendance was there for all the sessions. And I have also been writing the plus points, though every time it is not 10, but I am writing every day at the end of the day. And that is proving to be very useful. And also, the arguments and discussions and debates have somewhat quietened down, but I don't think I still have any control on those. Anytime I can fly off the handle. So I have to be more watchful of those things. That is what I find. But one of the things that I'm trying to follow is while doing the yoga, the awareness is to be intact. And the more easy and more relaxed I am, better is the particular posture. Even though it may be difficult, it sounds difficult in the beginning, but if you are relaxed and easy, then it happens very well. That is what I have experienced. So keeping that, I think every yoga asana is in a way training for keeping the same kind of awareness through our day-to-day activities in a way. But pranayama has not happened as much as I wanted. I think we have done more of asanas last week, and pranayama has taken a slightly. Not that it has not happened, but I would like more of pranayama. Maybe I'll have to do it in the afternoon then, separately, individually. But it's always better if we are doing it in a group. That's my feeling. So that is from my side.
So in this, we started this physical morning practice in 6 months or so. Sunil ji, 6 महीने हो गए, right?
करीब इस महीने हुआ, एक हफ्ते में हो जाएंगे.
So this is the first week where I attended all 6 classes. So I was also wondering.
Really, Joe?
Haan ji, sorry. So it's a good thing. Not that I have not been doing my asanas, but abhi walk band ho gaya hai because of the COVID. But I do walk at home, but it's not the same as going out and walking. The asanas are done. Sometimes in the morning practice, if Bhujangasana is not done or Konasana is not done, then I do it during the latter half of the day. Yeah, on the whole, it has been good. But this week, not with the asanas, but I lost my bhabi this week, my very dear cousin's wife. And this lady was a very nice lady, 1 year younger to me, an extremely good person, extremely good person. So she passed away on Thursday, and since then I'm not able to take her from my mind. And of course, with all the Gita talk, death and birth is not in our control. But one, that she was younger to me. One, second, she was so good, and I was very close to her, but I couldn't remove the thought from my mind. So she was there all the time. So walking nahi ho raha tha because I couldn't bring myself to do asana. I could do it, but nonetheless the mind was occupied. So because of this yoga, the mind is still calm and able to take it. One is able to educate oneself because of the practices, and also because I forced myself. I said no, I have to be in a group so that the mind is away So it did help me to be in the class every day of the week. Though I know, but still it did hurt. I mean, it did pain. So the morning practices helped. So that was one very good thing, that there is a support system कि चलो सुबह को करना ही है. You don't get into the tamasic state or the grief state कि ये हो गया तो वो दुख. There is no excuse. There shouldn't be. Life has to go on. So it was a good experience. Yeah, that's it.
So usually it's my turn, so I don't know what to say. So last week I'm a little stressed because the corona situation. Many students are asking about corona situation in India, and they were asking me how many percentage of the people in India doing yoga. If they are doing yoga, then they can at least 40-50%, about 50-60% they can defend corona. Then I couldn't answer them, what's happening, and because of my limited knowledge, maybe I was stressed, and I was feeling the tension. So last week was not good for me, and also we had some natural disaster happened in our area. So that also makes me a little stressed. And today's, especially Sabir Bhai's class, was very good. And when I was the first time I was searching, not searching of God, because when I started, search of God, most of the people I have seen, they go to temple or church, their doctrine is it's all idealistic. So I was feeling, this idol is, the idol worship is something limited. You can't see the world is one. You have some specific cult, customs, creeds, and you're following that, and the other people are not following, so they are not the same. Like that I was feeling. So when I went to Ramakrishna Math, and I wanted to know about more about God, and maybe you can say superconscious state or something like that. Then they told me you have to go to Belur Math and you study 12 years. Then I ended up there, and then I went back to home. Later, I joined in Shivananda Ashram in Rishikesh, and I learned many things in 2 months. And when Sabir Bhai was discussing about Ramakrishna and Vivekananda, I remember those times, when I was also searching for not for God or something like that. I want to get peace and happiness. That's it, peace and happiness. And when I was going to the temple, I was not feeling well, because I was, because of my intellectual mind is working too much, maybe because of the traditional teaching and all. So I was, searching for something else. So when you were talking about Patanjali and his God concept, I remember those times. I was more attached to these studies. Other than Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita also, you may say it is good, but it's less. I say it's the study of Hatha Yoga Pradipika or, you know, Patanjali Muni's study is more bigger, you know. Here, the Bhagavad Gita is little lesser, I felt like that, because it's limited. This concept is little more, you know, broad. Well, that's what I felt. So well, when you're teaching, you know, these things at those times, I remember, you know, I don't know how to explain these things in one you know, time. So I want to, I'm feeling many things, you know, why I'm listening, and I want to ask many questions, but, you know, my limited knowledge, you know, restricting me to ask questions. So don't ever think I'm not listening. No, that's all I want to say. Maybe my ideas, I hope you can understand what I said.
It was very nice of you, Jay Kumar. But one thing I should tell you, whether a person is practicing yoga or not practicing yoga doesn't mean that he is not going to catch up with corona. I should tell you, there are many friends of mine who were infected with corona, COVID-19 situation, and they were in quarantined, or you can say they were experiencing hospitalization also. So when we say your immunity should be better to face the corona situation, that is true. But at the same time, one should never forget the karmic impression.
Mhm. Yes,
This is the main thing. So yoga has a very less to do in that. Yoga will help you to sustain it. But at the same time, you cannot say that since you are practicing yoga, you will not catch up with corona, or you will not get corona. So make your friends understand, okay, whether you are practicing or not practicing, even after vaccinated, there are chances that you will get contaminated with the COVID-19 situation. So all these things are there. So just understand that way. भाई हमारे नसीब में यानी कर्म में अगर कभी लिखा हुआ है कि हमको होना है, तो वो पक्का होगा, वो छूटने वाला नहीं है, चुकने वाला नहीं है.
इन्फेक्शन तो जरूर होगा, लेकिन उसका असर कम ज्यादा होगा.
Yes, that is always going to be
इन्फेक्शन
there.
को रोक नहीं सकते.
नहीं रोक सकते.
I hold a slightly different point of view, sir, right? I think खासतौर से योग प्रैक्टिस से इम्यूनिटी का इजाफा तो डेफिनेटली होता है बॉडी में, एंड टू दैट डिग्री. और सच पूछो तो मेरे को यहाँ पे एक भी जने का पता नहीं है जो योग शिक्षक है या योग साधक है. मेरा सर्कल बहुत छोटा है, वो एक दूसरी बात है, चलिए. लेकिन मेरे को एक भी जने का नहीं सुनने में आया है कि सच अ पर्सन हैज फॉलन डाउन विद कोरोना. एंड ऑल्सो जो महेंद्र जी का एक्सपीरियंस था और आपका एक्सपीरियंस था विद फ्यूनरल्स also is very encouraging कि भाई इतनी, of course the situation demanded your going, but ये जाके भी अगर हम अपने आप को you know safe रख पाए, तो मैं तो इसका श्रेय योग को ही देता हूँ. बाकी you can say better.
It's all due to God's grace. We are lucky.
Actually,
Somebody is looking after us. Somebody is looking after us, and I think that only thing helping. That's all. Because what this COVID is, nobody knows. Nobody, I repeat, nobody knows what is the remedy. We are also just moving haywire, whether we are in home isolation, hospital, or in ICU. It's all haywire. Somebody is helping us to keep our momentum. Ekla chale ja.
and
Sir,
Sunil bhai, I'm
वैसे
telling you, sorry. Yes, please.
नहीं मैं ये कह रहा हूँ, but see that may or may not be fully true, because अगर थोड़ा अपन वेब पे जाएं और if we look at the, you know, try to find out the other side of corona, you know, it is also being said कि भाई ये ज्यादा जो ये you know तूफान मचा हुआ है, ये डर की वजह से मचा हुआ है, because of not understanding. There are you know, there are doctors particularly saying कि भाई ये डॉक्टर्स की क्यों नहीं सुन रहे आप, ये पब्लिक हेल्थ ऑफिशियल्स जो हैं who don't necessarily are experts on epidemiology, they are passing judgments. Epidemiologists say somewhat you know different points of view. They Anyway, what I'm only saying is that there are other medical points of view available which portray corona not as the ghost or monster that it is currently emerging. So I would only request that maybe we should also still explore a little more. अब फिर ये इतना ज्यादा हुआ नहीं बनेगा अपने लिए.
ये बात तो सही है. I should tell you, yeah, okay, there are yoga teachers and who are very good practitioners and who are very dedicated practitioners of yogic practices regularly. Even they have been got infected with corona. In Mumbai, there are many cases in our yoga community. If I'm seeing, there are many cases because I'm connected with so many other institutes also, and they are in touch with us. So we know about it. In our society itself, there is one more yoga teacher who also got affected because of corona. And my neighbor used to always tease me in the last month before Ramzan. In Ramzan, he has never teased me, but before he used to tease me and he used to say, साबिर भाई मेरे जैसा रोज 2 पैग लगा लिया करो, कुछ नहीं होगा आपको. देखो मुझे अब तक कोरोना नहीं हुआ, मुझे अभी तक कोरोना नहीं हुआ, लेकिन ये योगा टीचर जो है उसको कोरोना हो गया. उसने ऐसे कहा. तो मेरे पास कुछ शब्द नहीं थे बोलने के लिए. मैं बोला अब इनको मैं कुछ बोलूं नहीं, शांत रहूं, वो ज्यादा बेटर है. Keeping silence was the right point of the observation that time. But this is how the people think. And it has happened with many. And there are people who are doing all the kind of lack of immunity is like anything with them. They are having kidney failures and everything, but still they have not been affected. रोज डायलिसिस के लिए जा रहे हैं बराबर हॉस्पिटल में, लेकिन कुछ अफेक्ट नहीं हुआ है. देयर आर सच पेशेंट्स हु आर कनेक्टेड विद आवर टीचर्स. तो अब आप सोचो उनको कुछ नहीं हुआ है, बट उनके घर में दूसरों को हो गया है. दिस आर समटाइम्स सरप्राइजिंग थिंग्स. ऐसे लगता है कि फिर क्या समझे, unanswerable things. But here one thing is true, those who are practicing yoga, as Asutosh sir said, they are very much able enough to face the situation with lot of courage. That I have seen. That is there.
That they are able to maintain their sanity. And once you are sane, it is likely that you